Hello, hello, hello. What is going on, party people? So we're super excited. We're this is what it's been less than 72 hours here at our launch here at Divinfi. Super, super excited. Um, just here with the squad, and we're excited to have you all. So welcome everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome to our daily launch call. And we actually just decided we're going to be doing these calls multiple times a day. So if someone that you invited wasn't able to hop on here, we're going to be having another one here in about an hour. So um, stay tuned. Oh, 2 hours. So an hour from when this call ends. So right now it is 7:01 Dubai time. So at 9 Dubai time, which I believe would be 1 p.m. Eastern. So welcome everybody. Can you pull up the list for me, Will, real quick? Okay, we got a couple of people here. And like I said, we're gonna just be doing these multiple times a day. So I'm just gonna show you guys some information. Welcome, Tui from Australia, Paul, Michael. And then everybody else that's watching, whether you're on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, or any of the other platforms that we're streaming live to. So I'm going to show you guys some information real quick. One of my mentors a long time ago said that information has the ability to change situations if you make a decision. And so your only job today is to just view the information objectively with an open mind and make a decision, whether it's a yes or whether it's a no. So without a further ado, I'm gonna just get right into it. If you don't know who I am, my name is Sam Hidja, and I'm the Chief Marketing Officer here at Divinfi. Super excited. We got some awesome things in the works. And yeah, I'm excited for you. Excited for you to be a part of this amazing mission. And welcome to Divinfi, the biggest launch in history. All right, so, okay, cool. So our mission here is to create an ecosystem that brings freedom to 8 billion people with a B, billion people. And so that's a huge mission. And that's why we need your help. So we're based here in Dubai. The reason why we chose Dubai is because it is a city built by entrepreneurs, not politicians. Like the US and Canada and all these other places, they make it extremely difficult to just build businesses and just innovate. And there's so many regulations. While here in Dubai, they want you as an entrepreneur to be able to go out there and just be on the leading edge of things. And so what we're doing here is definitely on the leading edge, combining multiple different industries in a way that's never been done. And so we're really excited. So I'm going to talk to you guys about the products that we have here at Divinfi. And if you have any questions, please feel free to put them in the chat below, whether you're here on Zoom or any of the other platforms. We'll try to get to you as soon as possible. So the first product is called the Divinfi Swiss Fund. So it's a hedge fund by some people in Switzerland. What is a hedge fund? It's simply just a fancy way of just saying it's a way for them to accept investors and they're trading the money. Okay, so the Divinfi Swiss Fund, they're actually trading futures, and so they're using algorithms, which is 40% of how they trade. 20% is AI, 40% is manual trading. And so they're utilizing, a hybrid approach where it's utilizing both human and the AIs and whatnot. And so what we've personally done is we've made the connections with them. They were taking a minimum of $1.2 million because they don't want like the average person to, it's just kind of a headache if they're accepting somewhere like $1,000, $5,000. So like, okay, if you have this amount of money, we'll trade for you and then we'll give you a return. And so what they were, like I said right here, they got the algorithms, AI models, human traders. And yeah, so So is it 200,000 or that was 1.2 million? So they dropped it down now to the minimum 200,000. And so what we've done is we've basically became the bridge between these institutional level traders to the retail space. So people like you and I, where we can just invest a minimum of $500 and you can get the same results. And so what they've done, these are some of the results. So if you could see here at the very top left, in April 2024, they did 5.22%. And so that's really, really amazing because the banks are only giving about 1% a year, and they did about 5.22% within the month of April. So the total that they've been able to accumulate is about 500%, 499.56% since January 2020. So a little bit over 100% a year. So you're able to get the same results that these guys at the top are able to get, but without having to have the full 200,000, which is really what Jamie wanted to do. He wanted to, because all of the people at the top, the rich are just getting richer, and all the amazing opportunities are most of the time only exclusively available to the people that have money. So the people that have money are just able to make more money, while the people that are just working a job or just maybe have a small business or something, they're not able to get these exclusive opportunities. All you're getting and all you have access to are the scams and the shams and the fake Pams. And so we wanted to bridge these actual legitimate traders to you guys. So the next product that we have is the crypto fund, and it's actually ran by none other than Mr. Josh Williman. I'm not sure if he's on the call. Well, he actually got started. Oh, that's my cousin from Palestine. Whoa, that's crazy. So 25-year young Josh Williman, he actually got started trading at the age of 18. At the age of 21, he took all of his life savings, which is about $20,000, and he put it into the crypto market. And so after a few months, that 20,000 ended up turning into $1.1 million. And now he's actually managing several large accounts. And so he's done about 120% give or take since the beginning of the year. And so same thing, you're able to get the same results without having, so his minimum is actually 50,000. And so for you, the minimum for you would be $500 minimum. So we're just bridging you with the legitimate traders. Simple as that. So next, we have an AI crypto trading software that we're testing out. This is actually super exciting. This guy's been developing the software since 2017. Jamie did a meeting with him yesterday, and he saw like literally the last two years he had been trading with the software. It was making trades every single day, and he was doing anywhere from 20 to 50% a month. So this is super, super, super exciting. We're going to open this up for anyone that wants to be a beta tester. That's going to be at your own risk. But if you're risk adverse like we are, then I highly suggest doing that. But obviously, that's, like I said, that's at your own risk. This is a crypto fund. This is February 7th, 2024. It was up 150%. So next slide. So this is super exciting stuff. Some of you may have experienced this transformation with Mr. Don. I personally have. It was one of the most amazing transformations. What's up, cuz? One of the most amazing transformations that I've ever experienced. At the time, or before I met Don, I'd been going through a lot of stuff. I had been making money as an entrepreneur for over 12 years. And at the time, I had been building my corporate leasing business. Just actually went through a divorce, went to jail actually. A little bit before that, I was suicidal. And so yeah, like I just realized that having all the money but not having the inner freedom was literally hell. And so with Dawn's transformation, it's completely set me free. I've been able to just like things have just had quantum leaps in my life personally. And Dawn's just he's an enigma. You know, he's worked with several billionaires. He's also worked with the BlackBerry guys at Research in Motion, and he was able to help them go from $6.8 billion to $68 billion in just a few years. So he 10x a multi-billion-dollar company. He's worked with so many of my friends, so many of Jamie's friends. You know, it's just crazy what he's been able to do. One story in particular was a billionaire that he worked with, where the guy was actually addicted to drugs, alcohol, sex, food, and gambling. 5 addictions. He was a billionaire. He hadn't flown on his private jet in over 6 months, and he was about to go through a divorce. He ends up hiring Don. Don works with him. In an instant, this guy was free of all of his addictions. His divorce was no longer on the table, and he was able to ride on his private jet. He became social. He was able to start talking to his employees and his inner team and all that. So it just goes to show you that just if you have all the money in the world, but you don't have the consciousness, then and the freedom, it's just as bad. So that's why we're here at Divinfi. Our goal is to really bring you both the consciousness and the financial freedom. And so with Dawn, we're going to be doing 2 group transformations, and you'll be able to experience this twice a week. So Tuesdays are for new people. Thursdays is for the whole thing, meaning like the people that have already gone through the transformation. And so super excited for you guys to experience this if you haven't already experienced it. So let me actually go back to this real quick. So Dawn's process, what it does is, if you haven't seen this before, it is the consciousness scale. And this is out of a book called Power versus Force by Dr. David Robert Hawkins. It talks about how every single emotion that you experience is on a scale of consciousness, with shame at the bottom, which is a 20 consciousness, and enlightenment, which is your natural state, at a 700 to 1,000 consciousness level. So what David Robert Hawkins says is that most people, like 80% of the world, is actually underneath this right here, the courage, 210. So if I want you to just imagine if there was a test and it was out of 1,000 and you got a 210, meaning a 20% or like a 21%, how are you doing? How well are you doing? Not that well. Okay, so what Dawn is able to do is help you get to the very first trauma that you've ever experienced and help you release it. And you naturally are able to float back to your natural state, which is enlightenment. So personally, I was at this state right here, which is desire, which is about 125. That's why I had all these addictions. I was actually addicted to weed, alcohol, sex, people pleasing, validation. And in an instant, he was able to help me get to my natural state, which is enlightenment. And so it's just something you have to experience, and you'll be able to experience that here in the next couple of days. So if you haven't, I'm really, really, really looking forward for you to experience that. So let me go back. Our last product is our international bank card, which we have both physical and virtual cards. So whenever you are making profits with the Swiss fund, with the crypto fund, and you can withdraw it to this card, and then you can spend it, whether it's crypto or fiat, anywhere in the world. Very simple, nothing much more to it. This is our app, how it's going to look like. We have it already launched on Google Play Store, on the web browser. We're waiting on Apple. They're taking forever, but it'll be done soon. All right, cool. And we have our lucrative partnership program. So this is super exciting stuff. I got started in this particular industry over 12 years ago. And to be honest, when I first saw it, I was a bit skeptical, and I also didn't have any money. I had just lost like everything that I had built in my car exporting business. I was working a job. And then someone introduced me to a really lucrative opportunity, not even nowhere near as good as this one, by the way, and much more expensive. And I had like probably 200 bucks to my name. And I was dating a girl at the time, and I actually had to swallow my pride. I'm like, hey, babe, like, there's this awesome opportunity. This Indian guy is showing me. I need you to come over here. And basically, I borrowed the money from her, and I got started. So, where there's a will, there's a way. If you see the value in something, you're gonna figure something out. And I'm so glad that I did, even though it wasn't the best at the beginning. I actually ended up going homeless for 4 months. But after those 4 months, I actually ended up clearing my first five-figure month. I made like over $10,000. I basically swapped in my hoopty, which was a two-tone Lexus. It was rust and silver, 200,000 miles for a brand new Mercedes. And I like went from living in that Lexus to living in a luxury house in Dallas, Texas. So I'm so glad that I made that decision. And so I'm really excited for you to be able to see this information. I'm going to have Mr. Jamie, our founder and CEO, come and share this with you. Jamie is just a visionary when it comes to, I mean, just all things. And he had the insight and the download to really change the whole structure. Because some of you may know that we have been building this product for the last couple of months. But it all kind of came together these last few days, which is crazy. We're working at light speed. And so I'm really, really excited for you guys to see this info. And so I'm going to bring up Mr. Damien for him to bring it home.
Thanks, buddy. Okay, welcome everyone. I still think it's so cool that we're just right inside the TV here. So anyways, thanks for being with us. As Sam said, I'm the founder of this system, but to be honest with you, I never planned on it working out that way. We had done multiple communities and been a part of systems in the past that I trusted would be the vehicle for all of us, and I never wanted to be in the CEO seat, to handle all of the corporate shit, because honestly it sucks. But the exciting part is now that we've put together the networking plan that I always had such a heart for, going back all the way to the age of 16. I had my grandmother co-sign for me because you had to be 18 to join the company for Amway. And Amway was the very first networking company. And I just remember I grew up in basically a shit town in Canada. It's called Surrey. It's like the Compton of Canada, okay, for those of you in the US. And no offense to Compton, I know they've cleaned it up the last few years, but let's just say it was not the safest, and it wasn't Dubai, it wasn't wealthy at all. It was full of just riffraff and trouble. And anyway, I was living in a basement suite with my uncle at the time, and I saw this networking plan. This one guy in town that I knew, was successful financially. He had this brand new Cadillac Escalade, and I just thought, wow, if I could be like this guy. And the coolest thing that I saw was that here I was, this 16-year-old kid, had no experience. I was knocking doors at the time, selling subscriptions, so had a little sales under my belt. But here, this guy was a millionaire from Amway, and he would spend time with me at the coffee shop, like showing me the plan and training me and mentoring me in personal development. And I just thought that was so cool. Like, who in any other business model takes the time to do that with a stranger, let alone a kid that's just starting out? And then he brought me to an event just a few hours away from our city there. And there was thousands of people in this event. And one by one, people were going on stage just in tears, how they grew up with nothing and got involved with the networking plan and became millionaires. And more than the money, they achieved freedom. Like they didn't have a boss telling them what to do, when to do it, on someone else's schedule, selling their time for money. They had passive residual income because they started a network, and it grew and grew and grew. And of course, it takes work to do that. It's It's not net sit on your ass. It's network. It does take work to get things going, like any business or company. I mean, we haven't been sleeping to get this ball rolling. So, but just the potential, right? Out of every other business model, it was just so exciting to me. But one company after another, I just, number one, failed, gave up, didn't have the skills, to actually do it properly. But then the second thing was when I did have some experience under my belt, I found companies just didn't have the right heart. The owner wasn't really in it for, a long-term play. Um, and those companies would just go down here over and over again. Egos would get in the way. So ultimately, that's why we're here now, just creating it on our own because we couldn't find anyone else that actually completed a whole system that truly works, that we could truly have certainty behind and trust. And so here we are. We have been on the investing journey for a long time now. Back in 2017, I got a call from a friend saying, "Hey, I got this Forex AI stuff," and I didn't really understand what he was saying, but all I heard was this was a way for me to get some passive income. And then as soon as I saw it working, I thought, man, I could really help a lot of people, like the average person that doesn't know how to invest, doesn't have access to these things, doesn't have any passive income, never even imagined they could have that working at their jobs, selling time for money. So it's been quite the journey because if you've been around the investing world, you know that 99% of shit doesn't work or it's a scam or whatever, schemes and all of that. So it's been a huge roller coaster of finding the few things, the needles in the haystacks that actually do work. And what it came down to this last year, what we found is that the things that truly do work, that have consistent results, are the ones that are unreachable for the average person. Like minimum $100,000 starts, right? And it was like, okay, well, what if we could create that bridge? Like we could onboard with these institutional level systems and open it up to everyone else, the little guys. Because not too long ago, I was a little guy. Like I understand. There's not much money left over when you're in the traditional business or job model. They say job stands for just over broke, and it's pretty true. There's more month left at the end of the money type thing. So that's why. So then after we found the institutional level stuff, then it was like, well, man, like a lot of people just like don't even have enough money to make it worthwhile too. So that's when the networking plan came together. It was like, oh, okay, like we could actually have a plan that people could create wealth on both sides, right? Like build a network, have extra income to then be able to invest in these amazing financial vehicles, and vice versa. So that's where we're at today. Really excited to show you the plan. It's the best one that I ever saw out of the countless. I think I must have did 15 different companies over my journey since the age of 16. If you haven't seen this before, this is really important. It's called The Cash Flow Quadrant. It was Robert Kiyosaki's second book. His first book was Rich Dad, Poor Dad, which blew up all over the world. If you haven't read that, I highly recommend it. That's the one that got me out of high school, and I never had a regular job, never had a salary since then. So in the second book, he goes over the ways to develop income. So the E is employee, the S is self-employed, the B is business owner, and the I is investor. And he said 95% of people are on the left side. Employees are self-employed. And so as an employee, you're trading your time for money, you have a job. But as a self-employed or small business, many people don't realize this one, is that you're also trading your time for money because now you just own a job. Like the business doesn't run without you. You don't have a proper system. And so the big boys on the right side have a business system. The B is for business system. I is for investor. And again, if you're on the E and the S side, you don't have that much money left over to start a business or invest and have it be substantial. So Robert Kiyosaki wrote another book called The Business of the 21st Century, and that was all about the networking business, how that's the new way of doing things. And obviously that industry has been exploding. It's #1 industry now, as far as volume outside of the financial markets. And it really is a fair business model. Like as we started this, there's the founding team inside this room tonight, and every single one of us had to start with nobody in our network, right? 0 on our left and 0 on our right. And so it doesn't matter if you're seeing this now or you're seeing this a year from now, or you're the founder of the system. You start with 0 on your left, 0 on your right, and you got to build a network. That's how every single big business and company created their wealth, is through a network of customers. And the best thing about this model, going back to what I said when I was 16, is that the successful ones in the model are incentivized to mentor and help you. And it doesn't matter your qualifications, it doesn't matter your resume, it doesn't matter your background. They're willing to work with anyone that has a desire to succeed. And that's why we're doing these calls nonstop, to help you see this information and then be able to create a network for yourself and share as a partner in this whole system. So the traditional way to do a business franchise, but how much are franchises now? They're so inflated, and not too long ago, franchises were called a scheme and a scam. Like it just was misunderstood because it was a new idea. And so to start a Subway, for example, I don't know what the numbers are today, but last time I checked, it was in the hundreds of thousands of dollars. And you're talking for an income stream of maybe 30 grand a year, depending on your location and the employees and all of that. But that would be passive income because the system would be running the business, not you. And so to compare that to the networking model, where most companies you can get involved with for a couple $100 and you get access to the whole system, like you're franchising for a couple $100, there's no comparison. And then the beautiful part about our system is that all of our services and products are also involved in the investing side. So what you're doing is you're intertwining the business system and the investor, because that's really the way to speed things up. Like, yes, you can put your $500 in a fund and you can let it compound for the next 30 years, and then you'll have some wealth for yourself, right? But if you can supercharge that with an extra business income that you can fuel into investment, that just speeds up your path. That just creates your freedom even faster. And so we focus on the two sides, the business system and the investor. And we found the best investment products out there, like real legitimate ones, as Sam was showing you, hedge funds and leading edge crypto traders and leading edge AI that I just looked at yesterday, and our accounts being set up tomorrow. So really exciting stuff. I haven't seen anything so solid before. Like I said, that's why we had to create it, because we couldn't find something this solid. But happy to have you a part of it if it resonates with you. And I went over this, but there really is those two types of income. The active income, which 95% of people are involved with. I mean, I can imagine doing the traditional schedule, going to the office and being in traffic. I just saw a meme pop up before I came on here, and it was the world's record for the longest traffic jam, and it was in China. And get this, it was 12 days long. Imagine being stuck in traffic for 12 fucking days. Absolutely crazy. That might make some of you feel better, in Canada and the US when you're stuck in 3 hours or whatever. But the point is like, we all want freedom, but how do you create that, right? And I've never seen a better model and better investment tools than what we put together here with the networking plan and the actual legitimate institutional systems. All right, so this is the plan. This is the one that I got really excited about back in 2019, and that company just didn't work out. But I remembered how lucrative it was, and was like, we got to use that one until we, like, let's start with the best one we found and go from there. And the reason why I just know this one is the best that we found is that there's a guaranteed residual income for each rank. So it's not guaranteed you'll hit the rank because you got to do some work, of course, and not everyone's willing to do some work. But if you are willing to put in the work, and again, no one, like, you don't have to have any qualifications or any experience in this. You can start out like I did when I was 16 and the guy was mentoring me. But I love this plan because it's so simple. So really it's just you have two lines to your network. That's where you start, a left line and a right line. And you build that network out. And you can see at the very first level, that's 2 on your left line, 1 on your right line. And that's $100 a month passive income. Now, to some of you, that's like, okay, I spend that on lunch. That's not going to make a difference. But to many of you around the world, that's like a full week of working 9, 10 hours every day. Like, I'm looking at Will right now, and I know what his job was before we met in the networking plan back in 2019. He was working as a call center agent in the Philippines. And Will, what was your monthly salary there? Three. Okay, we'll round up and say 300. We won't take the VAT tax. But he was making $300 a month. And how many hours a day were you working?
8 hours.
And then the travel. So 8 hours plus the travel, what hour to and from? 1 hour total? 30. Okay. So 9 hours a day. Was it 6 days a week or 5? 5 days a week for what, $80? Is that what that works out to? Not even 75. Yeah, $75 a week. So, I mean, seriously, that's like more than a week of passive income. Just on the first level, we're talking about 2 on the left and 1 on the right. Sam did that in 2 fucking hours, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe less. So it just goes from there. You can see the required direct is how many you need to do personally. So after that, it's a cumulative effort. So everyone works as a team on the left line and the right line. Your whole left works together, your whole right works together. And you can see the next level is 10 on the left and 10 on the right. And that's $500 a month. Now, even those of you in the US or Canada or Europe, that's a substantial increase to your income. That definitely covers some things. And again, where can you get $500 a month passive income from an asset? You would need a pretty large amount of asset in real estate, for example, or you'd have to have a pretty solid portfolio of investments to make $500 a month in the traditional way. You're talking 6 figures plus to make it from an investment or a real estate property. And here we're talking about you signed up 3 people to the plan and it turned into 10 and 10. Like, seriously. And your starting fee is $235. Like, it is pretty ridiculous, the comparison. Then you get up to 900, which is 20 and 20. Still only need 3 personally, as long as you have 20 on the left, 20 on the right. $900 a month. Now, again, like 95% of the world, 95% of the countries in the world, I've been to many of them, that replaces almost every single job that you could get, like the highest paid jobs. And in the US or Europe or Canada, maybe you're covering your rent, but still, you would need a massive asset or a huge portfolio to make that passive income every month. And here we're talking about inviting people to a Zoom call and 3 people sign up and it turns into 20 and 20. I mean, Sam, what are you, halfway there already?
Almost there, yeah.
Yeah, Sam's halfway to 900, and it's been what, not even 3 days?
Yeah, understand.
Yeah, 2.5 days. And Sam's already halfway there. So now, of course, Sam has experience. He's not the average. Um, he's used to making connections. He has his own businesses. He realizes the potential of this. And him and I talking when we decided to go with the networking plan, it was like we were reminded of how not only fun and how much easier it was compared to the traditional model, but now we had all of this experience running traditional businesses. So now we really were grateful for the plan because both of us, we started out in networking. So we were fucking spoiled, right? Like 16 years old, I had a networking business, right? But then over the years of, okay, now we got to do the real company and, be the CEO and all that bullshit, do the adulting, become an adult, and everyone's telling you that it's just a scam industry. Okay, I'll do a real company. And so we had all this experience running these real traditional companies to the point where now we really are extremely grateful for this model. And so now no one could ever stop us from uh, doing the networking plan ever again. I don't think we'd ever go back to the traditional way. Um, so this just keeps going up and up. You can see 40 on the left, 40 on the right, $1,500 a month. That's US dollars. And still only three coming from you. 75, 75, you're $3,000 per month. It's almost $1,000 a week. Now, no matter where you are in the world, you can probably quit your job from that level or the next for sure. Not telling you to quit your job, that's up to you. You can definitely do this part-time. That's the beauty of it. When Will started out with us in 2019, we had the same plan, different company. And he was, as you heard, working 9 hours a day at that job. But within 3 months, he was at that. Does this work? Does laser work? He was at that 1,500 a month, and he did what was it, three personals? How many did you sign up yourself? Yeah, he signed up three for himself, and it turned into the 40 and 40, $1,500 a month, which was 5 times more than his 9 hours a day at the call center. 5 times more his salary. Like, how can you even compare it? So, you did quit your job at that point, right? Yeah, yeah, he definitely quit. But what I'm saying is he was able to build that part-time. He didn't quit his job at first. He waited until the network was paying him more than his job. And then that's a pretty easy decision. Unless you just absolutely love what you do, and you want to keep working your job, and you just want to put the extra into your investment, you can do that too. You have absolute freedom. But at least you'll have choice. At least if you don't like something about the job, you can tell them to kick rocks because your passive income is paying you more. It's just about freedom of choice. So this goes all the way up. I mean, it just keeps going and going. You get to $100,000 a month. And how many people do we know in different companies that are at that level? It's not ridiculous and it's not impossible. And there's people in the industry at $1 million per month that have grown their networks over time. And keep in mind, they did not have what we have with all these real amazing, solid, and legitimate financial products. I mean, a lot of them are fake education, skin cream, juices, like seriously. Not professional hedge funds, crypto AI, and Don's transformation. Like seriously. Don, just as an example for Don, my friend, I had a bunch of friends work with him, and the minimum absolute minimum. And this was because Don felt bad for them. They really wanted to do it, but didn't have the money. $5,000 to do 3 sessions with Don. Many of them paid $25,000. Sam and his wife, $15,000 for 3 sessions with Don. You're getting Don included every week in this program for $149 a month. Like, what are we even talking about? And as soon as you refer 3 to the system, even your $149 is free now. And then it just goes up up from there, you can build your network and have that extra residual income. So we slapped on a few extra ranks just for fun. These were the ranks beyond the ranks. We're looking at, I mean, 2 million a month, 4 million a month, 8 million. It's just ridiculous. But it works because it just is based on how many customers are in your network, just like any other business that you know of. Any other company that you're working for at your job, go and ask the owners, oh, how does the company make money? And they might use different language, but every single one comes back to, well, we have a network of customers. That's the only thing that makes a company money, a network of customers buying their product and service. So in this model, we're just helping you become that business owner, and you don't have to have all that capital and experience to start. You get to start for a couple $100, and you get to work with all of us that do have the experience and grow all together. Like, there's absolutely nothing better that exists right now. Now, just to be clear, it's not perfect. It's just a whole lot better than all the other fucking options. Okay, like it's gonna be tough. You're gonna have hard days. You're gonna have people tell you no, that it looks like a total scam, and you need to be able to be okay with that. And so it's really simple. It's just, hey, I found something I'm excited about. Are you open to check it out? It's the only thing Sam and I have been doing for the last 3 days. We made a list of our top people in mind. We went through our phones and our Facebook and we wrote them down and we sent them messages. Said, hey, bro, we're launching something really exciting. Thought of you. Just checking if you'd be open to look at it. Oh, sure. Send me some info. No problem. I'll send you a recording we just did. That's literally your only job. And then they'll tell you, yeah, love it or not for me. Okay, either way is fine. Either way is fine. Not everyone that Sam and I talked to in the last 3 days joined, but many did. And we don't care who joins or not. And we don't take it as rejection. They got their own life going on. So it's just, hey, you open to check it out? No? Totally cool. Yes? Okay, here it is. Let me know if you have any questions. That's it. There's the extent of your training tonight. It's not more complicated than that. And so the person that shows the information to the most amount of people usually is the one that has the fastest growing network and the largest income in the system. Simple as that. So here it is. We got one package. It's the freedom package. I don't know about you, but I never saw freedom as a product on a shelf, but I would have bought it for sure if there was. Well, now there is, right? Because everything that we wanted throughout our whole journey of all the experiences, I'm like, okay, let's just put it all together. There it is. And we're still improving it, and we're open to all of your ideas and suggestions too. So like I said, 235 startup, 149 a month. And after you refer 3, yours is free. If you want to stop there and just be a customer to everything, and you just have a free subscription, that's totally cool. If you want to become a partner at that point, then you can be a partner with us. And you add the business system to that, it's $15 a month for the business system. Okay, that's it. You get everything included. You get all of our connections to the funds. You get Don's transformation. You get our whole banking system. You get it all. So really, for me, we put together this system that I envisioned, which was consciousness and currency. And I always say that having high consciousness with no currency absolutely sucks. I know a lot of those people. And I was one, I tasted that, didn't like it at all. Because it's all about freedom, right? And you don't have to go very far to realize that you need some money to do what you want to do in this realm. And so they're both so important because on the other side, Sam and I both had this experience, making all the money, but being locked into a low state of consciousness, that chart that he showed you, like under 200, where you have all these illusionary fears and the ego just stops you from creating anything in your life that's healthy and attracted to everything that is toxic. Like the failed relationships after relationships after relationships, the phobia that I had to having children. And after the very first night working with Don, I was ready to have children. Like just all of the bullshit limitations that are on you right now that you're not even aware of, that you just got picked up and programmed when you were a child. All of that shit that you've been dealing with your whole life, that's the consciousness side. And that's what we have to offer with Dawn every single week. And then the financial system just intertwines perfectly. You have the freedom with your consciousness, and you have a financial vehicle in multiple different ways to have true freedom, not one or the other, both. So that's it. All you got to do, get back to the person that invited you to the call, or if you're watching the recording, just ask them, maybe have some questions, ask them your questions. They can get you the information to that, or ask them for their link and you can sign up and join us on this journey. And we do these calls every day. We won't be stopping. And we're doing multiple outside of this professional call. And my style is more like sitting on the couch in my sweats and looking eye to eye with the people on the Zoom. So we're going to be doing that in what, about an hour?
An hour.
So in an hour and 15 minutes, which is 1 p.m. Eastern, we're going to be doing a casual conversation, sitting on the couch here and sending out the Zoom. So you're welcome to come back to that. You can ask any questions. Or if you're already in the system, congrats, and just come to that. Bring some people with you. We'll present the information, answer all their questions, and they sign up into your network so that you get credit for it. That's how it works. And just a reminder to everyone, as we talked about money and investing, the past performance in investing is never a guarantee of the future. Diversification, which we do, doesn't eliminate the risk completely. There's always risk. Everything you do has risk. I mean, get in your vehicle and there's a risk that you're not going to be coming back. Like seriously. So just be an adult and realize that everything has risk to it. It's not a guaranteed lottery ticket. It's an investment. And we just found that the best ones that we have the best chances to succeed. I was just watching Mark Cuban, multi-billionaire that's famous on Shark Tank. He was talking about the investments he did on Shark Tank. He said 71 companies he invested into, and only 12 to 15 are performing really well. 12 to 15 out of 71, and he's a professional, a billionaire, the cream of the crop that they invest in Shark Tank. So the point is that you can still succeed at a super high level, but you need to be willing to take risk. Like the only risk there is not taking any risk, because that's a guaranteed loss. You're guaranteed fail. You don't even fucking try. You already lost before you even started. So that's the only difference between the successful business people and the successful investors. Everyone hears about their successes, but how many businesses did the billionaire start before he actually had a successful one? And I'm telling you, it's way more than the successes that they had. They're just willing to keep moving forward, keep taking action, get up and try again. And that's no different with the professional investors, the Warren Buffetts of the world, the guys that have made billions from investing. You think every single thing they invest in wins? Of course not. but the winners way make up for the losers. And they keep taking risk over and over again. So this was all for information purposes, not investment advice. Please be responsible for your decisions. Everyone has freedom of choice. None of us are victims. So please, only do it if it feels right to you and you're comfortable with taking risk. So for those of you ready to join the system, just so you know, on Tuesdays, if you've never gone through Don's program, that's when he'll be working with you. There's a questionnaire that you need to fill out. And we'll be doing that every week for the new people coming in. Every Thursday are for those of you that have already gone through his process, so that he can just get straight to the goods so that you can hold that high level of consciousness and energy and stay on track with the program. Because Sam can tell you, I can tell you, no matter how many times I worked with Don, there were a few times that I decided to give up the program and go back to my bullshit. All the ego stuff, the victim stuff, the playing small, the addictions, did it a few times. But again, just picked myself up again, went back to Don, hey man, need your help, and boom, got me right back up, like literally within 10 minutes. Okay, so the Tuesdays are going to be a different program than the Thursdays, just so you know. And this is a QR code. Where does this go, Will? Okay, so this is our Facebook community. We drop lots of results and everything into there. If you want to join that, you're totally welcome to. As I said before, if you're ready to join the system, make sure you get back to the person that invited you. Don't find some random person in Facebook. The person that invited you is the one to get credit. If we find out that anyone joined the Facebook and they didn't invite them themselves and they signed them up in their network, we will definitely take action against that so that everyone's protected. Okay, that's it for tonight. We'll be back on in about an hour. And do we have the Zoom for them on that? We'll send it out in the Telegram group. So if you're not in the Telegram group yet, oh, it is. Okay, perfect. So this QR code, you can take a picture, all the social medias, the Telegram and the Facebook, all that, you can get connected to through there so that you get all the information, the upcoming calls and all the results of the funds that everything's going on. So we'll keep you posted in there. And for those of you that are joining us in an hour, we'll see you then, and invite some people with you. See ya. Go ahead, Will.